is up, viewers? Patrick from Bob vs. Only, back with another TV videos, episode number 2 of Direction Week on Bob versus of the day. And today's verse comes out of John 14, verse 6, and it says, Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And that's what that verse means. And let's get into it. Speaking of the book of John, in chapter 15, verse 15, it says, I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. Now going to the book of Proverbs. In Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 15, it says, actually 24. In Proverbs 18, verse 24, it says, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And finally, in the book of Nehemiah, so in Nehemiah chapter 8, in verse 10 it says, Nehemiah said, go and enjoy choice food and sweet drinks, and send some to those who have nothing prepared. This day is holy to our Lord. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. And that's all for the verse portion from Saturday's radio program. Now going to the book of Ruth. This is Rob's sermon from yesterday. In the book of Ruth, in chapter 1, so he continued to talk about what he talked about Wednesday night with the names that God had changed in the Bible. In Ruth chapter 1, in verse 5, actually starting with verse 1, it says, in the day when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, and his wife's name was Naomi. And the name of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judea, and they went to Moab and lived there. Now, Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Ophrah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. In verse 15, it says, look, said Naomi, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. Skipping over to verse 19, it says, so the 2 women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them, and the women exclaimed, can this be Naomi? Don't call me Naomi, she told them. Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. And Naomi means pleasant, and Mara means bitter. And we also looked at the book of Genesis, where God changes Abram's name to Abraham, Sarai's name to Sarai, and then also in Daniel, where God changed the names of 3 people, 1 to Shadrach, 1 to Meshach, and 1 to Abednego, and then also Daniel's name was changed. So that's all for the verse portion, and the verse lead of today is Mark 16:15, which says, "He said to them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation." And that's going to be the video. Thanks for watching. And until next time again, viewers, in every way, God's way is always the best way.